iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. Uphindile ke umqeqeshi uClinton Larsen baxabula iqela leMamelodi Sundowns kumagqibela kankqoyi womdlalo kwi-League Cup yaseMzantsi Afrika edlalwa ngamaqela akwi-League. Eyayisakuba yi-Telkom Knockout ngonyaka ka-2012 kwiminyaka eli-12 eyadlulayo watyatyusha ke iMamelodi Sundowns ngenqaku elingazange lingene likaJoel Mokhorosi eqeqesha iBloemfontein Celtic esebenzisana noBobby Solomons. Namhlanje uyiphindile ke lo mbali kule League Cup ndini ibizwa ngoku namhlanje uba yi-Carling Knockout. Wayibetha iMamelodi Sundowns kwakhona kumdlalo wamagqibela kankqoyi. Sibabonile abantu bebengathi abangene ebaleni bayangena, kodwa ke uthe uphela umdlalo sava abantu bekhala bevuya beqhwaba izandla becula ingoma zeMagesi. iMagesi engenawugcwalisa mhlambi nehholo labantu abayi-500, kodwa ke namhlanje bebekhona abantu abaphaka kuma-20,000 abasecaleni leMagesi. Sibaqhwabela izandla kabalandeli baseBloemfontein into bake bakwazi into abazoyixhasa ibhola. Savuya ke thina abantu be-content uba kaloku siyayazi into yoba nonke nizawuba lapha namhlanje nizohleka iSundowns, nayihleka ke nonke ke nenze sure uba niyazishare videos nisubscribe kwatsha kwacima. iMamelodi Sundowns lemibuzo kakufuneka iziphendulele yona into yoba kutheni bebetho liqela elincinci kunabo. Siyavuyisana kwakhona ke nomqeqeshi uClinton Larsen. Le ndoda esecaleni kwami ke ibike yatsho yathi funa umgubo woba inenhloko ebuhlungu, la mgubo kaba omkhulu uGrandpa. Ndithi ke mna ke kuyo hayi zi-chest pains ayonhloko ebuhlungu. Hayi ke mfoka Guardiola waseSoweto Orlando masuhlalutya umdlalo ndoda.
Yeah, Nkuleko shop kunjani?
Yes sir.
Athi ngibulisa uTK. Ngibulisa the legendary Tsovila kazi. Ngibulise uShane
Shane McGregor.
Out yam uJunior Khanya khohla.
Yes sir.
Yeah, Nkuleko firstly.
You're feeling better now?
Now that I'm talking, you know what the thing is? I was feeling offish before the video. Yeah. Immediately when we started the video, something clicked in me and said,
well, it's your job. You get paid. Yes, it's your job.
You are working.
You have a responsibility to your audience as well. Beautiful story. Let's maybe start with the human story. I know you like tactics. Let's start with the human story. You're Clinton Larsen. You're coaching Celtic. You beat Sundowns in the 2012 Telkom Knockout. At some point, I think you also beat them 5-0 in the league as well as Clinton Larsen. You beat Sundowns. And then in 2020, we start this channel called iDiskiTV. I start this channel with my friend Jason Aker. And then Polokwane City gets relegated. Yeah. And you are the head coach of Polokwane City as Clinton Larsen. You get relegated. And then there's this team called Bizana Pondo Chiefs. Yeah. When you go to the NFD, Polokwane City fires you, and then you go to Bizana Pondo Chiefs. They get relegated from the NFD to go to ABC Motsepe League. And then you go to a Dynamos. Yeah. Somerville Dynamos or something like that in KZN in the ABC Motsepe League. And at this point, we don't know where you are, but you play a game in the Nedbank Cup, I think against Utongati, and we're like, oh yes, Coach Clinton Larsen, 5 years later. And then you promote a team called Magesi to the Premiership. And then within a few months, you qualify for the final as underdogs. In the League Cup final as underdogs with Magesi. And then tonight, mind-blowingly, against all odds, you beat a Mamelodi Sundowns, which is better than you, stronger than you, has way more money than you, that will last them lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Yep. That's a beautiful human story.
Nkuleko, congratulations. Nkuleko, congratulations to Magesi. Congratulations to the football club, the chairman, the technical team, the coach, and the players. Most importantly, the fans. Nkuleko, the fans are Magesi, the players as well. Sure. I think with Clinton Larsen, now that you're talking about him and his journey in South African football, I think he's one of the coaches that has coached go on Kama level in South African football. Has had his fair share of successes with lesser teams, even though the fan base obviously is incredible. We know obviously he's done an incredible job there, obviously against Uyahain Neskins in 2012. Comes again, promotes a team from his second division, of course, which is something incredible as well. Starts the season very well, in my opinion. Has not lost a game in 7 games now, Nkuleko. They assemble an incredible squad. If you check, Nkuleko, there's only 6 players to 7 players in the team that were signed, that are experienced, that also have PSL experience. Yeah. Most of those players are unknown players that played in the second division. Incredible work that the coaches and the technical team has done. Credit to Clinton Larsen, of course, with the job he's done, Nkuleko, winning another trophy. Unbelievable. You did say with where he comes from and what he's achieved. I think, in my opinion, this is the greatest story in South African football in the last 3 years. Credit to Coach Papi Zotwane. Credit to Pedro Picaro, which is a physical trainer from...
a former PSL top goal scorer, there, Jackie Lidwaba.
Yeah, Jackie Lidwaba as well. I think he's the first assistant or he's the general manager.
Yeah, he's one of the assistants.
Yeah, one of the assistants.
On the team sheet is the assistant coach.
And then Kulego, credit to those players, those unknown players that come from the second division. Kulego, incredible. Credit to Abo Abrams as well, playing on the right hand side, scores the winning goal for Magesi.
Yeah.
Credit to him. Credit to Ama defender like Abumvaz. I think they did very well. I think they defended for their lives. Kulego, this meant so much to them. I think this was not about tactics. I think they wanted it more than Mamelodi Sundowns with how they fought. They fought for each and every minute. They believed even when they were still losing the game, even when Mamelodi Sundowns scored the first goal. They kept on believing. I did say that at some point in the game that they had unbelievable belief. But for me personally, credit to the chairman. I understand that South African football, we cannot shy away from the fact that there's no long-term plans in some of these teams. Yeah, but credit to the chairman for giving Clinton Larsen the ability to do his job and the willingness for him to do his job. Credit for him for bringing in the players that he's brought in. Even though when they brought in those players, nobody
they would not have imagined
that
they will be in the final tonight.
Yeah, so credit to Amakesi. I think even when you look at how they played the game, you look at the goal they scored in the first goal, they scored that goal 4 times now. They scored that goal against the Pirates, they scored that goal against the Kaizer Chiefs, they scored that goal the very same. It's identical. They call it the Magesi signature move. Allow the team to go to the left, bring them to the left, and then play a deep diagonal ball that goes deep in the box to the right.
Comes from a school of
Ferguson. Yeah.
Those are typical coaches who find a way to score a goal and then they will repeat it until that's what happened to Coach Ernst Middendorp actually. Until the rest of the league realizes, oh, this is what you do. You are just helicoptering your way into scoring goals, and then other teams wake up to it. But I would never rain on his parade. I'm going to victory coach because number one, no one expected him to win. It was just a hope from other teams as well that they hope that he beats Sundowns. But it's a beautiful story. I think one Sundowns player could be valued 3 times more than the rest of the squad, Magesi. And I think that's a very big deal that they were able to pull this off.
It's very important to mention this. Remember what Clinton Larsen coach, they come from the school of Italy, where Italy then football was doing well in Italy at the time. So there's something they call the catenaccio, which is a very defensive, they call it the chain in simple English, where it's a defensive structure. But in that defensive structure, there's attacking principles. And in those attacking principles are counter-attacking traps. So if you check all the time...
It's not attacking principles per se, but it has a way to get out of the defense. So it's defense first, and then we'll find a way to get out, which is usually the transition.
Yeah, block the direct line. Always a heavy 2v1 on the sides with the fullback and the winger. If you check with Chima Marandaro, used to drop even on the right hand side, the boy number 2.
Left back as well.
Yeah. So there is always a double positioning there. Why you allow Mamelodi Sundowns to go into their spaces? That was the game plan, in my opinion. When you look at the tactical structure, he knew Clinton Larsen that he's not going to do so much against the Sundowns. Allow them to have the ball. Anyway, for you to play on a counter, you need the other team to have the ball. Allow them to have the ball. Block the direct line. Make sure that you are compact. Play with 4 players who are going to be bullies there in midfield. Don't allow them first man on the ball, second man on the ball. Be aggressive. Don't allow them to turn by and good back, feel a break down their neck. So what was the game plan? Allow the fullbacks to have the ball. You saw in the first half, Umutawu had the ball a lot. Umudiba had a lot of the ball. And then all the time, they block the pass that comes central because why? They're forcing Umudiba to play a deep cross now. And every time a deep cross, Chipezeze is ready. Umvaza is ready. Umkone is ready as well. I think they did incredibly well. That back four was solid, in my opinion.
There was a point where Ribeiro, of course, does this beautiful pass. Reina's great finish. I thought that Chipezeze shifted to the right too much. He wasn't aware of his position. He opened enough space on the other side. And of course, it's up to Reina's to see that moment, receive the ball, score it, and they scored it. And we were at this juncture in this game where we thought, now then, what do you do as Coach Clinton Larsen? And we saw for the rest of the first half, and I think this is maturity from him as well, that he knew I'm going to have an opportunity to speak to the players at halftime, during the halftime break. He told himself that let's continue with the game plan that we started with. Absorb. And I was thinking at this juncture that what is he going to do now? And if you go to our Facebook and listen to our analysis on iDiski, you'll find that our tone there, we're talking as it reflects, the game is reflecting itself to us at that point. You find that we were thinking, okay, it's a matter now of how do we not lose too much to Sundowns? And I kept on saying that if he loses by 5-0, he might be fired. I was so mind blown by the fact that within 2 minutes of his halftime team talk, they scored that move. And it is probable that in that halftime team talk, he said, let's go to our move.
Yeah, Nkulego, you know what? I think that was the game plan. Try and absorb consolidate, bring them closer, allow them to have the ball play on the counter. But what is important is the execution and the clinicalness of their front three.
Yeah.
I think you look at Dion Marco joining in the box late, very clinical. Looking at Umakube as well, I think he played very well.
Yeah, Ukakora Utsep, I think his name is Tsep Ukakora.
You're looking at the boy,
the opening goal.
Looking at the boy, goal number 2 now. He plays very well on the right hand side as well, Nkulego.
Sure. It's too hot in Johannesburg. We have to cut this video short. My brother here is really struggling with the heat as well. So we'll wrap it up very quickly as well. The health of people is very important. So it's 32 degrees. So we're going to wrap it up. Hopefully we've covered a lot of the things up to this point of the video. If you are still here, thank you very much for being with us. Let me ask you before I let you go, Lindo. Yep. Coach Mangoba, semi-final, losing in the final as well. Pirates are making it very difficult for him in the league as well. So it's a contest in the league. Champions League is not going to be easy. No one just wins the Champions League. It was even difficult for Coach Rulani himself, for Coach Pitso Mosebane himself. So looking at the season ahead, you have the Nedbank Cup, you have the league. What would be good and not good enough? Let's maybe talk about what your observation is about the style of play, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, Nkulego, with regards to the hybrid football, you know what, Nkulego, and we need to be brutally honest. I'm going to say this. He's done well so far. And I don't want to put him in a position where when he loses a game, it's like he lost the World Cup, and when he wins, it's like he win the World Cup. But I'm going to say this, and for once, the previous coach, every time when Mamelodi Sundowns played, we had this thing, we are going to win the game. And for the first time in a very long time, these teams feel like they have an edge over Mamelodi Sundowns. And when they are lining up good tunnel, that's when teams lost the game. And in my opinion, now these teams feel like they have an edge. These teams feel like they can beat Mamelodi Sundowns. Coach Clinton Larsen said something very important. He said, if you look at the games that they've played, and you realize that with the team like Super Sport, Cape Town City, you can mention even Marumo Gallants, even Polokwane City, they created opportunities. And under Coach Rulani, we pride ourselves by giving the opponent zero opportunities. In my opinion, if you really are taking this team, if you really do have a plan, you have a chance to beat Mamelodi Sundowns. With regards to the two competitions that we are out of the MTN 8, obviously didn't win that. We are out of the Kalim Black Label, didn't win that. Now we are left in a Nedbank, obviously in the CAF Champions League. I don't see winning.
And even winning the Nedbank Cup would not be enough for you.
Yeah, for us. Because there's two big fishes that we want, Kulego. The first big fish is the league
and the Champions League.
And if he doesn't get any one of that, which is, I feel now, is under pressure from the Orlando Pirates, because him losing this game actually gives the Orlando Pirates, technical team, the Orlando Pirates, a lot of confidence. It's giving some of the teams in the PSL a lot of confidence that you can actually beat Mamelodi Sundowns. With regards to the CAF Champions League, it's going to be very difficult because you look at the group first, you look at the fact that we have to travel, you look at the amount of games as well, the players that we have as well. I am thinking that it's going to be a very tough season for Mamelodi Sundowns, but things can change.
What is your opinion? I need to let you go. I can't let you stay for long because the heat is getting worse. What's your opinion about the coach? What does Lindo Nkosi thinks about the coach Mangoba Mngqeti?
I think he should stay as a Mamelodi Sundowns coach. For now, I think he deserves to be the coach. I think with what he's done for Mamelodi Sundowns over the years and how he started the season, in my opinion, I think you do give him a chance because you might say something else and then things change around. But in my opinion, he deserves to be a Mamelodi Sundowns coach. He needs to stay. We believe in him as fans. I think the club does believe in him.
I'm sure the fans are sad tonight, though.
But plastic fans are.
Specifically for today, tonight, fans are really pissed off tonight.
But Nkulego, there's a bigger fish to fry. We are chasing the Champions League. And I think for the first time as a club, that's where we need to focus. We need to focus on the first 6 games that we need to go to play now, and then focus on the knockout, and then focus on winning the league against the Orlando Pirates. All
right, there you go. Thank you very much, Lindo. We had to cut the video very short because it's very hot and we're collapsing here, so we don't want to take any further risks as well. To the Mamelodi Sundowns fans, tough luck. To the Magesi fans, well done to you guys as well. Well done to Coach Clinton Larsen. That's a beautiful story. Very few stories in South African football that you can tell that sound like fairy tales, that sound like God is giving us a through pass, because the matches are boring most of the time, but someone emerges from nowhere and they do something, and we can be able to even create a narrative and tell a story. We told you about the story Saga 2012, even before this final, that he beat Sundowns in 2012 in the same competition with an underdog, and it did it again. And when it did it in 2012, he played in the run-up to the final against Orlando Pirates. He beat them in the run-up, in the penalties. And to this tournament, this season, it was the same thing as well. It's like the football gods are giving us something, and we thank them for that. Us as content creators, we thank the football gods for giving us something to work with, because when the big team wins, it's normal. No one cares. And when something like this happens, then we know everyone will engage. iDiskiTV, it is the times, we're so betting.